Hello gamers and welcome. My name is Graz and today we're going to take a look at the brand new 3DS that recently just came out. It's currently retailing for $199 or your regional equivalent, and it's got a few things that some people are enjoying while others not so much. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. First off, we have on the front, the paint has been changed. It's more of a glossy kind of paint, where the previous style, it was a matte, so it didn't show much. The problem that some people have with this is that fingerprints will show up, which can be very annoying for some. I know I'm one of those people who get very annoyed by it. Also, we've had a slight change with the LED up top. Now, previously, this used to be a little bit bigger. It was a big green LED. They've downsized it just a little bit to save on battery, so that way you get a little bit more longevity out of it, which is, I don't know how to feel. I mean, it's a LED, so whatever, as long as it does its job. The two 3D cameras down here, they've improved them slightly. I'm not much of a camera person, so of course, I don't really use it for recording or anything. It's touch or go. It's a minimum upgrade. So other than that, I can't really say too much on it. Now, of course, we'll go ahead and take a look at the sides as well, because there's some notable things. First off, here's our 3D side. We have our 3 slider up top here. Nothing to write home about. Still does the same thing it ever does. Not much has changed. You may notice that the LED for the wireless light and the wireless switch is gone. You can no longer turn off your wireless access on the outside. It's actually in the inside. I'll show you before this video ends. But yes, you cannot change it from the outside anymore. The backside, nothing to write home about, except for a few new buttons. We have the Z buttons, the ZL and the ZR. Haven't found much of a purpose for those guys just yet, so eventually we may see something that gets a use out of it. I currently play the Ocarina of Time, so I really haven't seen too much. I haven't delved too far into the game. Of course, there's our L and R buttons, along with our charge port and our infrared slot. And on the other side was something very interesting. You may remember the volume slider was on the bottom part down here. They actually moved it up to the top. Now, the good thing about this, I will say, is that it's very, I want to say, sturdy. Before, if you put it in your pocket, you may notice that the volume slider may go up and down. That doesn't seem to be the problem this time around. It's a little bit more sturdy. It's a little bit more... It's tighter, basically, so it doesn't slide like it used to. And I like they did the change. I'll show more once we get on the inside, but yeah, once again, I like how they did that. Now here's the part that a lot of people are talking about, which is the bottom part. First off, you'll notice the cartridge over on the left side here. Now this cartridge slot is actually... You can actually play previous version... It's actually previous version games you can play now, as I get tongue-tied. So this plays the 3DS, the DS, the DS Lite, and all the other good stuff. It is backwards compatible, which is, again, nice. We have our headphone jack, pretty standard, not much. Now here's something else that's very controversial going on right now. The stylus, as you may have seen on the other side, was not there. Stylus now on the bottom. And it feels a little bit flatter, too. They changed the head to the stylus. So it's going to take a little fingernail, I should say, to pop it out. And as soon as I can pull it out, we'll go from there. It feels like it's a little bit more thicker than the previous one, but it is what it is. It's a stylus. Those who've had the previous version, it's very awkward to try to pull it out from the bottom. I don't know if I care too much for it, but for hardware reasons or whatever, it's a thing. Because I'm having a hard time balancing the camera and the 3DS stylus. Of course, the power button is another hotly talked about thing now on the bottom as well. People are slightly annoyed. I mean, if you're used to the original version, yeah, having it on the outside does feel a bit awkward. And of course, we have our LEDs right there. We have our blue light for the power. The one in the middle signifies it's charging. And of course, there's our Wi-Fi light right there, the third one, which was moved as well. And of course, we have our little slots for our string if you have a little lanyard or something. So that's pretty much the outside. Nothing on the back really to write home about. Again, if you want to get to your micro SD card, you have no choice but to actually have to take this back off now. That's right. Some people not too fond of that, but I don't know why Nintendo decided to do it. I wish I had an answer, but if you want to get to it, you got to take this back plate off. Nothing too complicated. I think they said it was a Phillips number 0 type bit head to do that. So, oh, by the way, it is a micro SD card now instead of a standard SD card. So I guess, once again, they probably try to figure out how to save space on that. Very, very interesting update they did. All right, now trying to get this open isn't exactly, there we go, isn't easy with a camera in my hand. So, of course, let's take a look at the top part. Pretty basic, nothing really changed up there. There's our volume slider. Once again, it's sturdy. It won't slide around in your pocket. It stays in place. You gotta put a little bit more pressure than previous versions, but I'm okay with that. There we go. It could be because the system's new, but I think having it up there has made it a little bit more sturdy. Of course, 3D switch on the side. Nothing much changed there. Nothing really to write home about. A slightly better camera up here, I believe. As you can see, you may see the infrared right there. Now, this is one thing that a lot of people talk about. If you use the 3D, this little camera with the light will actually see where your face is, and it will track you, so that way you can actually see 3D better. Now, I got a little bit of 3D on right now. I'm not a big of a 3D user, but it does seem to work pretty neat. I gotta say, I enjoy that very much. So, if you do use 3D, this thing, it makes it a little bit more easier to watch than previous versions that would get really distorted. Other than that, that is pretty much your top part of the 3DS. The bottom part's where everything pretty much has happened. Of course, off to the side, there's our sticks, circle pad, D-pad, nothing much changed, nothing to write home about. But of course, we have our little home button down here. You remember the start, the home, and the select roll on the bottom. Now we just have a home button. They made it a little bit more clean down here. Again, some people may not like this because it feels a lot different. It takes some getting used to. It was probably not necessary, but Nintendo did it anyway. Of course, we have, yes, our little C-stick here. This thing so far with Majora's Mask, I don't know how to place it. It changes the camera view, and it is very touch sensitive, so if you want to change the camera slightly, you'll use a light touch while moving around on it. It'll change it lightly. If you want to move it rapidly, you're going to have to put more pressure and do the adjusting switch. I wouldn't say a whole lot of pressure, but it is definitely touch sensitive. Very interesting. Hopefully they have more uses for that in the future. Right now for Majora's, it just seems to only control the camera angle. Now, I don't know if these buttons are going to come up properly, but you may see the different coloration here. If I can make it a little bit better. As you can see, Y, X, B, and A have different colors to them. Nothing much else, but the colors, I guess, are nice if you really wanted to signify something out of it. So, they are what they are. There's buttons. They're there. Of course, again, if you can actually see this, we have our start and select buttons here. There we go, start and select. And some people don't care for this too much. Once again, it's a switch from what it was before. Me, it takes some getting used to, but I'm not too worried about it. So, again, it's one of those things you'll have to adjust. Of course, there's our mic, as always. Mic hasn't changed. Go figure, right? Now, for those who may be interested in saying, hey, Graz, what about this wireless turning off deal? You said that it was possible. Oh, that I did. It took me a while to find this, and actually, I think I would have probably never found it if someone hadn't given me a tip on it. So, as soon as I get my stylus out, so I got an alert on my little ping here, you have to go over to the menu right here for the home, and you have to go to settings. We can change themes, of course, screen brightness, 1 to 5, auto brightness, which I can't remember now, to be honest, if it was on the previous version. But there's auto brightness, which is on or off. I keep mine on. If you want to save on battery power, turn it off. And if you're in a dark area, you can go ahead and turn it down, of course. Turn it up if it's in a bright area. But that's just one way if you want to go ahead and save some energy. Power saving mode, you can turn that on or off. Big shocker, right? So I'm sure some of you may have seen down below. There we go. That's how you turn your wireless off. Right there, on or off. And there's no other way of doing it, really. So you turn it off, your LED will go off, and that's it. Done. Of course, if you want to go on the go, on, and of course, back on. Shocker, right? It's a miracle. Modern science, I say. I find this to be very annoying. I was one of the people who was trying to conserve energy by turning off my wireless if I was in areas I knew it wouldn't get anything out of. So it was convenient to have it on the outside. I'm not going to go on a rant, though, because they probably had a reason for doing this. But it is kind of awkward to go in and actually change it inside the actual command center. But for whatever reason, it is what it is, and I'll live. I'll wake up tomorrow and the sun will rise in the east. And I believe everything else, for the most part, is our Amiibo settings. Now, this is about to be compliant with the Amiibos, so we'll see where that goes. Of course, let's go ahead and take a look at Amiibo settings really quick. I really haven't fooled around with this much because I don't have any Amiibos. Surprise, right? So, of course, you can register your own nickname, delete Amiibo game data, and you can reset the Amiibo. Go figure. So, again, I don't have any Amiibos to show you, but that's a thing there. And that's going to do it for this little overlook of the new 3DS that is currently available for $199 or your regional equivalent. It's a very nice little system. Again, is it something you're going to need right now? Probably not. I mean, granted, the hardware bump is nice. It does perform a little bit smoother than its predecessors, and there's going to be games that are going to require this at some point as well, so it is what it is. But overall, you can continue to enjoy your 3DS currently right now. Also, I would say that you should probably wait till more options come out for colors, simply because when they originally came out, you only had several options. Black being one of them. If you got one of the Special Edition Monster Hunter 4 or the Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, they were nice. Other than that, though, you get black and there's one other color, which is, I can't even remember offhand. But that's pretty much it. So you can wait for a wider variety of colors to come out. I'm sure we'll see something similar to like what they did with Smash Brothers and all. They'll probably make more special covers. So it's up to you. But it is very nice. Again. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, have yourselves a wonderful day, and if not, then just simply fake it. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you found it informative. And I will see you again next time with more Terraria and other gameplay videos. Thanks for watching.